You might want to reschedule your picnic when you see an iffy weather. The word iffy means uncertain. Usually we relate it to weather. Okay. So my name is Vaishnavi, as you all know, and good evening everyone. Hi and welcome to today's session. Let's start the session. I hope you got the word of the day. It's iffy. Alright, so let's start with the questions then. Okay, so the first question that we have is, in the following questions, a part of the sentence is in bold. Below are given four alternatives to the bold part at A, B, C, D, which may improve the sentence. Choose the correct alternative. In case no improvement is needed, your answer is E. Sorry. Gujarat's Patidas. Gujarat's Patidas are a prosperous, socially dominant community, and yet are on the war path. There will be a war path. Demand quotas by being classified backward. Okay, so this is the word of the day. IFFY. Alright. Demand quotas by being classified backwards. Okay, so we are saying something like where they are prosperous, socially dominated community, yet are on the war path. And what are they in the war path? They are demanding, not demand, they are demanding quotas by being classified backwards. Okay, so the correct answer should be, it should not be in the V1 form, it should be in the ing form, by demanding quotas by being classified backwards. Alright, that is the first question. I don't know, for some reason this was pretty simple, so for some reason I'm just not I don't know, not feeling well. Yes, the answer is 1. Let's continue to the next one. I'm so sorry about the first one. There was a lot of glitches. I'm sorry about that. So let's start with the second one. I'll put my full enthusiasm in this. Okay. Let's start with the second one. Okay, so the second one is, the non-financial businesses of any entity becoming a major stakeholder in bank would not be able to exceed 40% of its total asset. So the would not be able to exceed 40% of its total asset. Why is it would? The first option, okay, how many of you say it is correct? Would not be able to exceed 40% of its total asset. The non-financial business of any entity becoming a major stakeholder in banks. This is definite. It is not a possibility that we are talking about. When is will used? When it is certain in future. Okay, if this happens, the non-financial business of any entity, be it any entity, becoming a major stakeholder in banks, will not be able to exceed. It should be will not be able to exceed, not would not be able to exceed. Okay, and it is also the past tense assumption of will. Okay, so the right answer would be option number 4, will not be able to exceed. See, first one has will not be unable. So two negative words you cannot use together. Again, will not be able to exceeded. This is again in the past tense. So this will not be the answer. Will not be able to exceed. Something that is certain and you are talking about it definitely happening, then you will use will. Would is more of a polite way of talking, and you also use would when there's a slight possibility, okay, when it is not certain, okay. So this is a certain thing. If the non-financial businesses of any entity becoming a major stakeholder in banks will not be able to exceed 40% of its total asset, okay. So it should be will not be able to exceed. I will be explaining models tomorrow in the doubt clarification session, okay. We will be dealing with will, would, might, may, all these, and I'll give you a small gist of the rules that you should use for these model auxiliary verbs, okay. So hold tight till tomorrow morning, okay. Okay, next one. Okay. It's high time for corporate India to recognize women power, as studies show that firms with more women in leadership position often tend to be more profitable. It's high time for corporate India, okay. So it is high time for corporate India to what? To recognize women power, as studies women power. There'll be a comma over here. As studies show that firms with more women in leadership positions often tend to be more profitable. Okay, so we are talking about it is high time for corporate India to take more women or recognize more women. So it is absolutely fine. There is no error in this statement. Yes, so the answer will be no corrections required, okay. Yes, all of you are right. It should be option 5, no corrections required. Alright, moving on to the next one. 5 years after departing from Earth, NASA's Juno spacecraft is all set to reach the farther point in its orbit of Jupiter to get the signs of the giant planet. Okay, so what is the statement says? To reach the farther point in its orbit. Okay, so in this one, is there an error? Yes, there is an error. It says 5 years after departing from Earth, NASA's Juno spacecraft is all set to reach the farther point in its orbit of Jupiter. Okay, so since it has already been Juno has already been orbiting Jupiter for a very long time, it's been 5 years. Now it is time for it to reach the superlative degree, not the comparative degree, okay. So it should be farthest point, okay, not farther point. Yes, so reach the farthest point in its orbit. So the answer will be option 2, to reach the farthest point in its orbit. Yes, I think all of you got it right. Most of you got it right. Yes, right. Good. I am so happy. Hello Sonu, if you are late, no problem. Just carry on from wherever we are discussing. You haven't missed much. Alright. Next one. The reported proposal to merge several public sector oil companies to form one Bemol is a terrible idea. Alright, so first things first, what is the meaning of Bemol? Behemoth, some people pronounce it as behemoth. What is the meaning of behemoth? If anyone can tell me. Till then we will continue here. The report the reported proposal to merge several public oil sector oil company. Now, if sometimes this happens that when you are looking at these statements, you find that the sentence is absolutely fine and you overlook the errors, okay? So in that case, what you're supposed to do is just go through the options once. You will get the idea that okay, there is an error, and the error here is a very simple error, something that can easily be overlooked. Instead of company, we just have to use companies. Yes. So that is the error. Okay. Behemoth is something that is enormous, okay, something that is huge. And it is a noun. So it is usually used for large and powerful organizations. Okay, so that is the meaning. Yes, huge is the meaning. Okay, so like I said, the only error over here is you have to make it plural. Since we are talking about several public sector oil companies, okay, because we are not just talking about one. So the answer for this one will be option 3. There is no error in the tense, okay. The reported proposal to merge, it is absolutely fine, okay, because it is a report and it should be in this form. Yes. Alright, moving on to the next one. Yes, those of you said huge is the right answer. Huge, giant, yes. And it is usually used for, it is actually a creature, okay, but when we are using it as a word to describe something, we use it for to talk about huge and powerful organization, okay. So that is how we use the word. Alright, moving on to the next segment. Okay, so what we are supposed to do here in each of the sentence given below, which is then divided into 4 parts, out of which 2 parts are grammatically correct and other 2 parts have error in them. 5 options are given with various combination of these parts. You have to choose the combination in which both part have error. Okay, so there's option A, B, C and D. So you have to choose 2 options out of these 4 options have error. So you have to choose the right combination of errors. Okay. For the Congress which have not won. Okay. For the Congress which have not won any state election. Alright, so can you see the problem right here? Can anyone see the problem? Yes, Congress, it is a party, it is considered as singular, okay? So for that we will not use have, because have we use for plural. So A has the error, okay? So we will strike out 3, 4 and 5. Barring Punjab after 2014, a victory here would help it. Cash on it elsewhere, boosting its campaigns in. Now, cash on, it should be cash in. It is a phrase. What is the meaning of cash in? To convert. Okay, to convert money. Okay, so cash in is to convert money. So cash in it elsewhere, boosting its campaign in other states which go to the polls later in the year. So the error is in A and C. The right answer is A and C. Yes. So I hope all of you got it. We will move on to the next section. I just want to ask, I don't see Sony today. Sony, are you here? Yes, he's here. He's here. Okay. And what about, I think, Murali? Lakshman Abhishek Naidu. Campaign or campaigns? Boosting its campaigns. Campaigns is fine. Okay, because they are organizing a lot of campaigns, so that's why it is plural. Alright, moving on to the next section. Okay, so the same type of question again. More importantly, the party is now attempting to forge a distinct social support based across. More importantly, the party is now attempting to forge a distinct social support based across. Do you see an error there? Is there a problem? Yes, there is a problem. And what is the problem? More importantly, the party is now attempting to forge a distinct social support. Based over here is being used as verb because we are using the ed form, so it is being used as verb over here. But that should not be the case. No, more importantly is absolutely fine, Sony. There is no error, and you can say you can use it in comparative degree as well. More importantly, okay. Out of the two, which one is more important? Okay. So the error is actually when the use of the word base. Okay, we are using the word base as verb. Okay. Instead of that, we are supposed to use it as replace it by base, okay, as a noun. Social support base, okay, across the country, which involves overt recognition to religious belonging as a counterweight to Hindutva agenda, reaching out the farming community as a whole. Okay. Where is the error over here? Let's read it once again so that you okay, the country which involves overt recognition. What is the meaning of the word overt? Anyone? Yes, A and C is the error, but who can tell me what is the meaning of overt and what is the meaning of counterweight? Alright, so till you guys tell me the meaning of both of the words. The country which involves overt recognition to religious belonging as a counterweight to the Hindutva agenda. Reaching out the, what is reaching out? Reaching out is a phrase. Okay, so reaching out the, you usually reach out to people. Okay, so reaching out means connecting with people, connecting to someone or connecting to a community or farming, like it is mentioned here, farming community. So it should be reaching out to the farming community as a whole. So the error is in A and C. Yes, shown openly or done openly. Yes, so, it is. That is the meaning of overt. Okay. And what is the meaning of covert? Covert operation that they say. So covert is the opposite of overt. Covert is a very secretive operation. Okay. It is not done in the open. And what is the meaning of counterweight, Ken? Yes, like the word itself says, counterweight as in there's a weight and you have to counterweight it. Okay, so balancing to in order to counterbalance. Yes, Neelam, you're right. All right. So the so we are done with this one. Let's move on to the next one. In other words, the Congress has increasingly veering. What is the meaning of the word veering? Till you guys tell me that, let's move on to the next one. Okay, veering means, before you guys tell it to me, I will tell it to you, change direction suddenly. I think we have done this word as well before. Veering. Okay, in other words, the Congress has increasingly veering. Okay, here is itself the error. These ones, most of the errors are in 1 for some reason. So what should be the right word instead of increasingly? Now, in other words, the Congress has increasingly veering. Okay, now round a package of values such respect to religious commitment, social justice and equality, and human dignity as its mantras without necessarily disowning secularism. Okay, now instead of changing increasingly, we can, if we just make this is, it will make the entire statement alright. In other words, the Congress is increasingly veering round. Okay, so we do not have to change the ly over here. Alright, so that is the error. And next one, round a package of values such respect to. Don't you think there's something wrong over here? I think there's something wrong over here. Round a package of such of values as will will round a package of value with respect to, yes, not will, with respect to religious commitment, right? So the error is in A and B. The right answer is 2, A and B. Moving on to the next one. Caste has always been important. Since it is an article that should be used here, we'll quickly do this one. So the error is in, this is a very distinctive and clear error. Caste has always been an important factor in the political process of Karnataka since wider ideological struggles such as the non-Brahmanism in the erstwhile. What is the meaning of erstwhile? Preceding. I think this also we did last time. Okay, preceding Madras or Bombay provinces, or socialism in Kerala, and the United Andhra Pradesh has not leave much. Okay, right here is the error, not left. It should be, because the statement has to be in past, not left much of a trace here. So the error is in which and which statement? A and D. Alright, yes, right, this one was pretty simple. Moving on to the next one. Last one of this section. In the 1970s, Devraj Urs, the then chief minister, have tried. Okay, we are talking about a single chief minister, right? So why are we using have here? It should be, and since we are talking in past tense, it should be had tried. Okay, had tried to reinforce the base of the Congress party among the backward classes, the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes and minorities by land reforms and an assertive reservation policy. Okay, and minorities. What did he try to do? He tried to reinforce the base of Congress party among the backward classes, among these category of people and minorities. How? How did he try to do this? Through land reforms and an assertive reservation policy, and undercut the importance of Lingyats and the Vokaligas, the two dominant communities. Alright, so the error is in option A and C. So first one has the error. Alright, so this brings us to the end of part 1. A little glitchy start, but I think we pulled it through. We were able to pull it through. Okay, so I think I've clarified all. It was pretty simple. I don't think any doubts. If you have any doubts, please start talking about it in the comment section, and please make sure you are answering along with the as I'm solving the paper, because so that you also get a clear picture as to where you are making mistake and where you're not. Okay, otherwise you'll feel like, yeah, that was so obvious, this was the answer, if I solve it myself. Okay, so moving on to the next type, let's move on to the next section. So here's the passage. Please quickly read, go through the passage, and then we will talk. This one is a pretty simple one. Two minutes. Let me know once you're done with this one. So that I can move on to the next one. Alright, so some of you are still having the doubt in the first part where I said it should be had instead of has. Why should it be had? Because we are talking in past tense. Yes, it should be singular instead of, if it was in present tense, we were speaking in present tense, then it could have been has instead of have, because we are talking about a singular number, okay, one person. In spite of that, we were talking about, in spite of that being the error, we were talking in the case of past tense. That's why we used had, Divya. I hope it is clear. Let's quickly go to the passage again. I hope you are done with the first part. If you're done, let's move on to the next part. Okay, so I'll quickly go through it. In India, live-in relationships have been a taboo right since the British Raj. However, this is no longer entirely true amongst young couples in big cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, etc. However, one cannot deny that maintaining such relationships in most of the country's rural areas would be nothing but to invite loads of unwanted attention, or may be even trouble. The government, however, has been taking various measures for the past few years, especially after the intervention from the judiciary to protect the interest of female live-in partners. In one such move, the government had extended economic rights to women in live-in relation under the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. Similarly, the Maharashtra state government in 2008 granted a proposal suggesting a woman involved in cohabitation for a reasonable period should be given the status of a wife. In the same year, the Ministry of Women and Child Development was urged by the National Commission of Women to include female live-in partners in the definition of wife as described in the section 125 of CRPC. The objective of this recommendation was to harmonize various other sections of law with the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. Justice Mali Math Committee of the Supreme Court recommended that this be turned into a law by all states. The committee had observed that if man and woman are living together as husband and wife for a reasonable long period, the man shall be deemed to have married the woman. The Mali Math Committee also recommended that the word wife under the be amended to include any woman living with a man like his wife. Okay, so please finish the rest of it. I am tired of reading. Are you guys done? I hope you guys are done so that we can move on to the questions. It was pretty simple. It is talking about live-in relationship and how women are supposed to, in a live-in relationship, are supposed to get the benefit of being called as wife and the stature of wife, and they should be allowed to be given the same privilege as men. Yes, okay, Uday, I will get to the screen. Okay, here you go. Alright, that's enough. I think I gave you enough time to solve this. Now let's quickly get to the questions now. Alright, the first one, my favorite, you have to talk about which ones are the most similar in meaning of the word printed in bold. So deemed, what is the meaning of deemed? Deemed usually means something that is regarded in a specific way or considered in a specific way. Okay. Specified way. Alright. So basically it can be considered or assumed. Okay, so the right word should be assumed. Yes. Cohabitation. What is the meaning of cohabitation? Cohabitation means, I'll just write it down. It is the state of living together and having a sexual relationship. Okay, so basically live in. Okay, the definition of live-in has cohabitation. That means two people coexisting to live together and obviously have sexual relationship. All right, so that is the meaning of cohabitation. Miscommunication, affinity, coitus. Okay, coitus on is can be the synonym. Why? Because it means sexual intercourse. Okay. Alright, so they are synonyms. They are. It is not talking about compatibility. It is not about familiarity. They coexist, as in they live together and have a sexual relationship. So that is the meaning of cohabitation. Okay. Moving on to the next one. How is it compatibility? Compatibility talks about how much two people are comfortable with each other, how comfortable they are with each other. It cannot be compatibility, because cohabitation talks about living together and having a sexual relationship. Alright, that is the meaning. Yes, let's go on to the next category. Now we will be discussing most opposite. Okay, so what is the meaning of the word taboo? I think taboo we have been seeing for a very, very long time. Now, before we go to that, how many of you think live-in relationship is not something that should, because it is not part of our culture, it should not be, pushed forward, or it should not be given so much of importance, or inculcated in our system or something like that? I'm asking you guys a question. How many of you think that it is not something that should be encouraged by the Indian society? Because I think it has become, guys, please stop going to the questions and opposite and allowed and things like that. I'm asking you about something that is social awareness. So a lot of people are think that it is not part of our Indian culture, and they should not be. Yes, it is not part of our Indian culture, and it should not be allowed in us or encouraged by Indians. For those of you who think so, let me tell you, chai is also not our culture. Taj Mahal is also not our culture, but we have taken all these things. Pant and shirt is also not our culture. So there are a lot of things that are not our culture, but we have inculcated it in our system and taken it as our own. Samosa is in fact the food, if we talk about, is not our culture. So lot of things like this, we have welcomed a lot of things. That's the beauty of India, of it being democratic. Why is it that people why is it that people look down upon live-in relationship? Because I think it is that's again my point of view. Your point of view can be completely different. I don't think there is a problem here, because two people have together, they have come to, mature adults have together have come to a decision, and they want to just live together. They just want to see if they're compatible and can have future relationship or not. Usually it is accepted in metropolitan cities, because you have both working class man and woman, and that's they find it easier to cohabitate. Alright, that is just me giving you some. It depends on person to person. Yes, it is individual choice. It depends on person to person. But we, being the society, should not look down upon it. And it is also something that is, like you are seeing in the passage itself, something that is recognized by our law as well as not being illegal. So why people look down upon it? People also sometimes they do not give rent. They do not put their house on rent to people. They have a lot of problems. The live-in couples, because they have to say that they are cousins or something like that, and the society does not just is not yet accepting it. Social constraints. Yes, you're right, Molly. Social constraints. This is just popped up in my head. I personally do not see any problem with it, but there has been a lot of cases where they have been mistreated because they are in a live-in relationship and things like that. So, anyways, coming back to the topic, let's discuss what we have to. I swayed away for some time. In our country, may take a while to be accepted by all in our society. Yes, but don't you see the irony in the fact that we are celebrating decriminalization of Section 377 when we are not even accepting opposite sex to live together if they wish to as mature adults? So what are we celebrating for if we cannot accept that? That's food for thought. Anyways, let's go to the yes. So taboo is something that is prohibited or restricted. Prohibited or restricted, that means it is not allowed, okay, by social customs. So the opposite should be something that is allowed. Okay. Next one is harmonize. What is the meaning of the word harmonize? What is the meaning of the word harmonize? Harmonize is something that, what is the meaning of harmony? Something that is, can anyone tell me? First, let's talk about what is the meaning of harmony. We say that they all lived in harmony. What is the meaning of harmony? Harmonize. Yes, peace. Okay, peaceful. So the opposite will be when they, what will be the opposite? In harmony. Yes, harmony, peace. But what will be the opposite of this? Will it be fight? Will it be unify? Will it be cohere? Will it be tune? Will it be disagree? Happy and together, yes. So the so what will be the, yes, disagree should be the right answer. Divya, it is, we have to talk about the opposite, sweetheart, not the same. Okay, so something that is when people are living together, they do not have a problem, they are living in peace. So the opposite when will be when they are having a lot of arguments and they're disagreeing a lot, not fighting. Okay, so the opposite, most opposite will be disagree. Okay. Next one, prolonged. What is the meaning of prolong? Prolonging something. And delaying something. Yes, delay. So what will be the opposite of prolong? Not delaying, right? So what is protracted? Should it be protracted? Should it be sustained? Should it be delayed? Should it be shortened? Yes, when we are delaying something, we are making it even, we are delaying it, we are procrastinating, we are making it even longer, the time period. And shortening the time period will be the opposite, yes. Now moving on to the question section, we are done with the words, pretty simple words, I'm sure all of you got it right. So let's go to the questions now. Prolonged. Generally always does this, he breaks the word, very nice. Okay. Find the incorrect statement on the basis of the given passage. Which one of these statements are incorrect? You have to find out. So, the Supreme Court of India has thrown its weight behind live-in relationship. Had thrown its weight behind. No, it did not. Okay. Cohabitation has turned into a rare pattern amongst people. Has it turned into a rare pattern amongst people? Yes. This one is true. The courts do not have the... Alright, so we are supposed to find out which one is the incorrect. Okay, so this one is correct. Absolutely fine. Cohabitation has turned into a rare pattern. Yes, this one is the wrong one. The courts do not have the legal power to override the decision related to social welfare. Of course they do. They always are the ones who make the law of the society. So 2 and 3 both are incorrect. So the right answer will be both 2 and 3. Alright. Moving on to the next category. Next question. According to the passage, which of the following can be said about the cohabitation in India? Okay, so what can be said? Now we are doing what can be said. Living together should be punished in India? No, that's not what can be said. Of course not. Women in such relationship are often safe? Yes, because we have come up with a lot of laws and things like that. Okay. Young couples try to know each other better in live-in relationship before marriage. Do young couples try to know each other more or better in live-in? Yes. This is right. Okay, wait a minute. I think I have... Okay. Sony is saying did not understand. Which one did you not understand? The first one that we did? Okay. Let's do the first one again. Okay. The Supreme Court of India had thrown its weight behind live-in relationship. What is throwing its weight? Throwing its weight is exercising influence, okay? Influence or power or any of authority. Alright, so it is saying that Supreme Court has exercised its power to, behind live-in relationship. The Supreme Court did not have any influence or did not, try to exercise its power. Usually this is done in to disagree, okay? Or to cause objection. Okay, for objection. So the Supreme Court did not object to live-in relationship, alright? That's why it is So did you understand the idiom has thrown its weight? That means exercise, influence or authority, especially to an excessive degree. Okay, so it is done in an excess or in an objectional manner. Okay, so that is the meaning of the idiom over here. So that is not what the Supreme Court is doing. On the other hand, cohabitation has turned into a rare pattern amongst people. Okay, now what is asked here? Now, okay, I'm so sorry. Okay guys, now you are supposed to find the incorrect option. So the Supreme Court of India has thrown its weight behind live-in relationship. That means Supreme Court has exercised its power. So that is correct, right? So the Supreme Court has exercised its power in case of defending live-in relationship. All right. The second option that we have, look here, cohabitation has turned into a rare pattern amongst people. So it is not rare, it is becoming more and more prevalent, okay, in India. So that is incorrect. So option 2 is incorrect. The courts do not have the legal power to override the decision of the social welfare. Again, court does have the legal power to override social welfare or anything that is related to social welfare. To save someone being chased by a bad guy, you throw your weight behind in support of, yes, on the chase, yes. So that's why I'm saying it should be 2, 3. Alright, 2, 3 should be the right option. That means they are the incorrect ones. Sony, did you get it now? So the first one is to support live-in relationship. The Supreme Court has gone out of its way to support live-in relationship. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Okay. Women in such relationship are often safe. Not something that was that can be inferred from the passage, of course. Okay, so I will take this also as a no. Young couples try to know each other better in live-in relationship before marriage. Of course, that's what they are. According to the passage, which of the following can be said about cohabitation? Okay, so we are talking about what can be said about cohabitation. Why do people get into cohabitation? The reason is young couples, they try to know each other better before marrying the other person, and not like arranged marriages where two people are just they just meet and they are married. So these are the people who try to know each other better before getting married to each other. Alright, so that should be, third one is the right answer. Which of the following is possibly the most appropriate title for the passage? Okay, now you are supposed to say which of the following is most appropriate based on the passage. Okay. Live-in relationship in India. Okay, yes, we are discussing about live-in relationship in India. Stability in live-in relationship, no, we are not talking about the stability, how stable live-in relationships are. Live-in relationship is immoral. Something wrong over here. Live-in relationship is immoral, not something that we can infer from the passage, of course not. Marriage like live-in relationship, no, we are not talking just about marriage like. Laws on relationships, definitely no. So we were basically covering how and what is the scenario of live-in relationship in India. So the first one should be the most apt title for the passage. Alright, moving on to the next question. Which of the following can be inferred from the passage? Cohabitation should be the basic right. Can it be inferred that from the passage? No, that's not what we are talking about, it becoming the basic right. Cohabitation is an offense, again not something that we are talking about. there are some specific reasons why a couple may want to live together. Again, not something that is mentioned in the passage. The social fabric of India is drastically different, but the judiciary's effort to protect the interests of people living in live-in relationship is definitely a welcome step for the greater benefit of the society. Too many words, yes, wins the race. So fourth one will be the right answer, because it talks about how judiciary has the judiciary system has been taking steps or measures to support or throw its weight behind live-in relationship, like the idiom said. Alright. Moving on to the next one. Which of the following is a disadvantage in live-in relationship? Okay, so let's look at the disadvantage. Rights, obligations and responsibility of both parties are not clearly defined. Of course, it is not clearly defined. So yes, one is correct. There are no strong legal provisions for securing the future of children born from live-in relationship. Of course, there isn't any laws or legal provisions made to secure the children born in live-in relationship. There is none. So they can test their compatibility as a couple. This is not a disadvantage of live-in relationship. Of course, it is good that you check your compatibility, so it cannot be a disadvantage, right? So the right answer would be both 1 and 2. Fifth one, both 1 and 2. Alright, why so many wrong answers, guys? Are you not able to understand? Fifth, yes, 1 and 2, right. Alright, so that brings us to the end of this section. Pretty simple passage, but we took a lot of time. I don't know, for some reason we are taking a lot of time today. By the way, I wanted to ask something, I forgot. Anyways, moving on to the next section. Let's move on to the next section. Alright, so here is a passage given and there are words. As you can see, you are supposed to use it in the right form, or you are supposed to, okay, in the following passage some of the words have been left out, each of which is indicated by a number. Find the suitable word from the options against given against each number and fill up the blank with appropriate word to make the paragraph meaningful. So you have to find out should it be what should be the exact word that should be used over here. Alright. Okay. So hundreds of plants and animals are dash every day due to deforestation and urbanization. So what should be the should it be lost? Hundreds of plants and animals. Plants and animals they are not lost. Okay, what are they? They are either, are they killing? No, it's not in the right tense itself. Are they alive? No. Are born? No. Are left? No. So no changes required. Okay, so I think lost is fine. Hundreds of plants and animals are lost every day due to deforestation. Lost in the form of extinct or die. Okay, we are using it in this form. None of the others are suitable, so I think we shall go with one, that is die. Every day due to deforestation and urbanization. Next one. Let's go on to the next one. What might happen if this country is in the future? Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. What might happen if this continues in the future? The last mass extinction of plant and animal species occurred 65 million years ago with the dinosaurs. In all, 5 mass extinctions have occurred and scientists consider is the word that is given Earth is in the 6th mass extinction. So, okay, let's look if we have any other better word for this option. Scientists speak? No. Scientists told? No. Estimation? Not the right word in the right form. Scientists believe? Yes. Scientists believe Earth is in the 6th mass extinction. So it will be the 4th one. Alright. Moving on to the next one. The world as it is now is threatened, including people who are responsible for Earth's. Okay, the world as it is now is threatened. Why is it threatened? And that includes people, including people who are responsible for Earth's what? Who are responsible for Earth's shape. People are not responsible for Earth's shape. So it is talking about threatened. It cannot be development. It is a positive word. So we are looking at a negative word here. Deterioration. Yes. So that means depletion. Means becoming worse. Okay, that is the meaning of the third one. Deterioration. I'm sure all of you have heard this word very often because it words related to increase and decrease. There are so many words, and I'm sure all of you know these words. Very common words: deterioration, depletion, degradation. All these words are mostly starts with D, and they are all related to D as in going down. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Pesticides contaminating water, overharvesting of animals and plants, air pollution, illegal fishing, and the clearing of land are direct results of urbanization and deforestation. People have dash and damaged almost half of Earth's land at a very unsustainable rate. Global warming is having a serious impact as well. Okay, so people have dash and damaged almost half of the Earth. So people have what? People have altered. Yes, can be people have altered the Earth and damaged almost half of the land. Altered how? By polluting it. Okay, so they have polluted it and altered it, and a lot of concrete jungles that we are building, these factories that we set up, and that's how we are altering our environment, and in the same way we are damaging it. Okay, we have not created and damaged, we have not produced and damaged, we have not made and damaged, so it will be 1, right? Right answer will be 1. Alright, this brings us to the end of this section as well. Moving on to the next section. Oh no, there's more. Oh, there's more. A 6 degrees Celsius increase in global temperature killed 95% of all species on Earth 251 million years ago. Okay, so this happened 251 million years ago. An increase of 6 degrees Celsius in forecast this century if a change is not made to dash the damage done to Earth. To what? To change has to be made to not to increase the damage. We have to do something about the damage, right? So it should be not void the damage. Void is just a gap. Okay, so we cannot gap the damage. Dissipate it is not the right answer. Why is it not the answer? I'm sure all of you know the meaning of dissipate. Argument is also not the right answer. Reverse, we are talking about reversing the damage. Yes, so the 4th one is the right answer. Is the right answer. Moving on. So we are talking about the damage being reversed. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Okay, Akhila, what is the meaning of dissipate? Dissipate? I think we have discussed dissipate earlier. What is the meaning of dissipate? Okay, till then, moving on to the next question. human will be one of the 95% of species lost. Noticeable changes of global warming include migration, dash, and the change in season timing. So these are the noticeable changes. So what are the noticeable changes? One is okay. So what should be the right answer? Noticeable changes of global warming include migration, acceleration. Yes, obviously right. Okay, so there has been a lot of acceleration in the case of migration, not delay. Migration has not delayed, it has increased because birds and animals have been migrating from one place to another to find their suitable environment. So they have been going from there, migrating from their place to another place to just find their environment which they are not getting. So it has accelerated, okay? Accelerated, and the change in the season timings. Okay, next one. Migrating birds are migrating earlier. Okay, by the way, the word, I think there was a word over here that we did not, dissipate. What is the meaning of dissipate? Nobody's answered. It just means disappear. For your knowledge. But expansion is positive, madam. What are we talking about? Expansion is positive. Which one? Can you be a little more clear? Why can't development be used? Which one are you guys talking about? Can you please tell me the number of the question that we are talking about? Two nouns together without preposition. Which one? Noticeable changes of global warming include migration, acceleration. Yes, why not? Acceleration in migration, or migration acceleration. It is absolutely fine. Why can't development be used? Which one are we talking about? Migration acceleration. Uday, got it. That one, that's the one I'm talking about. Why can't we use migration acceleration? An acceleration in migration, or migration acceleration. And the change in season timing. Okay, so instead of saying it like this, acceleration in migration, we are simply, if you see the other option, migration spare, definitely not something that you would say. What is migration spare? Migration bear, or bear, or yes, bear. We are talking about bear. Again, not something that would go along over here. Destroy, amend, none of these are going. Acceleration of migration, or acceleration in migration. Yes. It's migration delay because of next line. Okay, migrating birds, no, the next line says, look here, the next line says migrating birds are migrating earlier. Okay. They are not delaying, they are migrating earlier, which in turn is causing them to hatch eggs. And what? Oh, the right, okay, we were looking at this. Okay. Hatch eggs and dash young earlier than they did at the beginning of this century. So, and okay, so they're hatch eggs and dash young earlier than they did at beginning of this century. Okay, so the birds are sparing young. No, they are not spare young. They bear young. What is the meaning of bear? As in, they are impregnating. Okay, they are becoming pregnant, bearing a child. Okay, so it is they are bearing earlier, or they bear young earlier than they did in the beginning of the century. Okay, next one. While this is just the tip of the iceberg, what is the meaning of the idiom tip of the iceberg? It means something that is just the glimpse of the entire story. Okay, something that is just the small picture of the big picture. Okay, or something that is just an introduction to a bigger story. Okay, so this is just the smallest problem that we are talking about. That is the meaning of tip of the iceberg. Other dash regarding the extinction of plants and animal species need addressing. Other what? Other problems? Yes, other problems, but let's see if we can find a better word. Other animals, no difficulty, no issues. Yes. So other issues regarding the extinction of plants and animal species need addressing. Okay. So we are talking about guys, attention, all attention over here. Let's finish this passage quick. So 8th one, the answer will be 3. Moving on to the next one. It is more important. Again, you see more important. So I hope all of you understand now, realize it, and now that it is used. There's nothing wrong in more important. It is more important now than ever before to pull our heads out of the sand and make changes. Okay, what is the meaning of pull our head out of the sand? As in being ignorant. Okay, ignoring whatever is happening and just sitting ducks. Make changes for the dash of the earth, for the better of the earth. Okay, or betterment would be a better word, but okay, better of the earth. Next one, future generation are dash as they are species as well. Future generations are, what are they? Are they are endangered. Yes, because they are also a species and we are not protecting the future species, so we are endangering them. All right, so it will, the right answer will be endangered. Okay, so the option 1 will be the right answer. All right, so we are done with this. It was talking about global warming and how mass extinction of species has been happening and the temperature is going up and global warming, all of the things that we should be aware about. Very, again, enlightening passage, something that all of us should think about and take actions about. All right, so that brings us to the end. We'll quickly discuss the next few and wind up the session. All right, moving on to the next one. Oh, all right, there is no next one. So this brings us to the end of the session. I'm sorry, I thought there are other questions also to be discussed. But please make sure that tomorrow all of you guys are there for the doubt clarification session. I've taken questions from the dashboard. Also, we will be discussing modal auxiliary verbs, something that is very important. People get confused between might and may, where to use will and shall, where to use a lot of modal auxiliary verbs. Okay, so we will be quickly discussing few of the most important modal auxiliary verbs, and then again I have a session tomorrow with you guys at 2 o'clock. So yay. Okay, till then, have a very good evening, stay safe all of you, and enjoy yourself. Have a happy weekend.